What's going on, guys? You're probably getting sick of me talking about the incident and the injury that I had recently. However, just after I hurt myself, I recorded a video talking about what happened, how the incident happened, everything that was kind of leading up to it. And I've just rewatched it and I've realized it's not good. I sound really miserable. And obviously filming a video not too long after I hit my head really hard probably wasn't the best thing to do. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to sit and I'm basically just going to explain a little bit about what happened. There is already a video out of the actual training session, which if you click the card up there, you'll be able to see. And there is obviously a video me kind of commentating over that as well. So I'm going to try not to repeat things too much, but I am going to add a little bit of clarity as to kind of what happened and essentially the future of the parkour videos on this channel. So it was Sunday the 26th of May and it was one of our contendant progression street sessions, which if you don't know is this kind of regular training session that we organize and run, with the idea being that we pick a new location, we get as many people there as possible, you get to meet new people, and it's a good space for people who might have struggled with mental health problems or, you know, want to meet new people. Perhaps they feel lonely. So it's one of those sessions that we run and they're usually really good. And again, as usual, Vicky and I got there early because we like to be there for when people start to show up. So I got there at about 10:30 and I started warming up around the corner from the spot. On this day, I decided that I was going to start my warm up at height. So I wasn't going to start the session by doing any rooftops or anything like that, but I did want to do it on some raised walls just to kind of really get myself ready for the day. Broadfield is quite a big spot. This is the spot that we were running the progression street session at. So there were a few moves throughout the day that I'd wanted to do, that I'd kind of set a goal for, and I wanted to get myself ready for that. So 10:30 showed up, was doing really well in the warm-ups, was feeling really good. Everything was like moving quite nicely. I felt, you know, well rested and ready to go for the session. And I did some of these challenges at height, so I was like, cool, head round to the main spot and started training there for a little bit. Now on this day, it had rained the night before, so it wasn't actually raining on the day. It was supposed to, but the weather, at least the whole time I was there, changed quite a bit. So it got really sunny, really warm, and everything was drying up really quickly, which was quite nice. It meant that the session was going to be running as normal, as planned. You know, sometimes we've had a few sessions where we get rained halfway through, but on this session it was looking really good and a lot of people were starting to show up. So the challenge that I wanted to do for the day was the one that was in the Stora video, and I'll kind of overlay some of the footage here of me kind of looking at the challenge, but essentially it was the running precision over the drop to the rail, and I wanted to spend some time warming up for that. It was about 13 feet. So it's quite, for me, a comfortable jump. I was doing it flat, I was doing it on the ground. I was making sure that I was comfortable with that before I even went to attempt it at height. Because it was at height, it's quite a scary challenge to do. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do some scary running precisions to kind of mentally get me ready, to get ready for the jump. And one of the ones was the warm-up jumps that I was doing and trying to make it a little bit harder by taking off a little further back and trying to land on specific points on the wall. Those were going really well. And for the kind of like final few attempts I wanted to do before I went to attempt the running pre was to do some scary running pre's to try and control it and kind of get used to a commitment mentality that I had. And one of these jumps that I found was the running precision that I had done before that I hadn't done since, and I wanted to clean up and try again. And unfortunately this was the one that I ended up kind of falling and having my accident on. So what actually happened in the lead up to the incident? And to be quite honest, I can't remember the lead up to that, because after I hit my head I lost quite a fair bit of my memory. What I remember was looking at the jump, giving it kind of a few attempts and looking at it standing, looking at it running, trying to weigh up which one I wanted to try, and I decided that I was going to try the running precision. And again, everything now is entirely speculation because I don't remember. I've spoken to a few people and they've kind of given me mixed different things. So I think essentially what I'd done was I'd gone for the running precision and just given it way too much power, landed on the wall and overshot like I did the last time I did it. But on this time round, the bushes in the middle had grown quite a lot, so there was quite a lot of like shrubbery in the middle bit. I'll kind of insert like a clip or an image of it here. And I think what had happened was I'd overshot into those twigs, and I'd kind of fallen forwards a little bit because I'd probably tripped on a branch or on a bit of shrubbery or something. And as I've fallen forward, I think I've gone to grab the wall on the other side and unfortunately missed the wall, which then caused me from momentum to fly forwards, and unfortunately I toppled off the wall about 10 to 12 feet. I don't know specifically how tall it is, but I know it is higher than than what you should be taking, and I fell straight onto my head, knocking myself out, concussing myself completely. I found out the other day, I think I was out for about 3 minutes. So I was out for 3 minutes, then woke up, and then was obviously taken in the hospital by the ambulance. Obviously, when I was in the hospital, they did obviously all the assessments they're supposed to be doing. I'm very, very lucky. What I didn't realize was you kind of have like a kind of like few amounts of times that you can hit your head before you really start doing damage. And I hit my head so hard that I kind of used up all of the head hits that I'm allowed to use, basically. So the first time I concussed myself also has to be the last time that I concuss myself and hit my head, because I hit it so hard that it could end up, you know, really impacting me more in the future. According to the doctors, I shouldn't be here right now. I should either be no longer on this planet, or I should at least be not functioning and be quite brain dead, basically, is I think I'm not sure if that's the correct term to use, but I can't figure out the word to use properly for it. By all things considered, I'm very lucky, and I've managed to get through this incident with still injuries and still problems, but nowhere near as bad as it could or it should be. So one of the things that the doctors in the hospital said was my shoe grip was apparently like had no grip whatsoever, and apparently this was one of the things that could have contributed towards it. These shoes, when I'm wearing them training, were really grippy on walls and stuff, but I think just where like they're not at the point where you would throw them out, if that makes sense. And I guess like if I had to do anything with this video, it was to kind of give this thing saying that, you know, we are frugal in parkour, we do like to wear things into the ground, but sometimes, you know, things like this are important to keep you safe. So just bear that in mind, even if it does feel like it's grippy. If it's running down, then maybe you need to change the shoes, because it could save you from overshooting and falling onto your head. So I am doing okay. I'm still recovering. I thought it'd be easier for me to make a video like this and kind of explain a little bit more now that I've kind of had a few weeks to get over stuff properly, and kind of, you know, I'm not sat on the sofa sounding really miserable. I'm actually able to kind of run and explain things a little bit better with a little bit more enthusiasm and a little bit more, you know, thankful for what had happened. In terms of going forwards, I'm still going to be making videos on this channel. Obviously, I can't do any exercise for the next 6 months, so I'm not able to kind of go out and practice and train at all, basically, until towards the end of the year. And once that kind of rolls around, I need to basically consider whether I carry on doing parkour as I knew it. So kind of the training and the practice of parkour that I was doing, I need to kind of look into that and see if it's worth me continuing that, because see, I can't hit my head again. If I hurt myself, it's going to be a massive impact, basically. So I do need to look into the way that I train and the way that I do parkour and basically reconsider that. But I still want to be making content. I still want to be involved in parkour during that time. And I've got a few like nice ideas, and you'll kind of see these uploads coming over the next few weeks of me doing still parkour content, but it's kind of different style content that I'd be really interested to get your thoughts. Obviously, I've done parkour for the last 12 years, so I'm not wanting to just give it up and throw it away. It's been a really good thing for me. It's been a really positive thing for me. It's been something that's been really important to me with both my physical and mental health. And although I can't move and train at the moment, I still want to be involved in the sport as much as I possibly can, because I love it. So yeah, that was basically that video. Hopefully it explained it a little bit more. Hopefully I didn't repeat myself too much, but this was just a little bit more casual, but also a little bit more enthusiastic and nicer to listen to than a video of me sat on the sofa sounding really mopey and miserable. Maybe I'll release that video at some point, but I don't know. So yeah, thanks guys.